Here's something that will make you uncomfortable. Talent is overrated, and hard work is underrated. The world is full of talented people who are broke, unsuccessful, and frustrated. They believed the lie that talent alone would carry them to success. Meanwhile, people with average talent but extraordinary work ethic are dominating every industry. The person who works every waking hour will always beat the person who relies on natural ability. Skill beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. Consistency beats brilliance when brilliance shows up occasionally. The market doesn't care how smart you are. The market only cares about results. And results come from relentless, consistent, overwhelming effort applied over time. While talented people are waiting for opportunities, 27 years old, broke, and sleeping in his car. That was Ray Kroc in 1954, driving from restaurant to restaurant, trying to sell milkshake machines for a living. Most people would have called him a failure. His friends told him to get a real job. His family wondered when he would grow up and settle down like everyone else. But Ray Kroc had a secret. While other salesmen worked 8 hours a day and went home to watch television, Ray worked every single waking hour. He studied restaurant operations during lunch breaks. He analyzed customer behavior while other salesmen played cards. He spent evenings reading about business trends when others were at the bar. He turned his car into a mobile office and his mind into a learning machine. One day, Ray received an order for 8 milkshake machines from a small restaurant in California. 8 machines. Most restaurants ordered 1, maybe 2. This was unusual. Instead of just shipping the machines, like any normal salesman would do, Ray drove across the country to see what these people were doing differently. What he found changed everything. 2 brothers named McDonald had created a system that served hamburgers faster than anyone had ever imagined, while Ray's competitors were still trying to sell 1 milkshake machine at a time. Ray saw the bigger opportunity. He worked 18 hours a day for months, learning their system, improving it, and convincing the brothers to let him franchise their concept. The rest is history. McDonald's became the largest restaurant chain in the world, and Ray Kroc became one of the richest men in America. But here's what most people miss about this story. Ray Kroc wasn't the smartest man in the room. He wasn't born rich. He didn't have special connections or a college degree in business. The only difference between Ray Kroc and every other salesman driving around America in 1954 was this: Ray worked every waking hour while others worked just enough to get by. This is the fundamental truth that nobody wants to hear. Success isn't about talent. It's not about luck. It's not about who you know or where you went to school. Success is about how you use your time. More specifically, success is about working every single hour you're awake while others are watching television, scrolling through social media, or making excuses. Let me share some numbers with you that will shock you. The average person has 168 hours in a week. Subtract 56 hours for sleep, and you have 112 waking hours. The average person works 40 hours and spends the remaining 72 hours on entertainment, social media, television, and activities that add no value to their future. But successful people think differently about these 112 waking hours. They treat every hour like a precious resource that can never be recovered. They understand that time is more valuable than money, because you can always make more money, but you can never make more time. While the average person works 40 hours a week. Highly successful people work 60, 70, even 80 hours a week. And here's the secret. They don't see it as work. They see it as investment. Every extra hour they invest in their skills, their business, their goals, compounds over time. Think about this mathematically. If you work just 1 extra hour every day, that's 7 extra hours per week. 7 hours times 52 weeks equals 364 extra hours per year. That's more than 9 additional weeks of work time. In 10 years, That's 3.64 extra hours of focused effort toward your goals. But the real magic happens because of compound interest. That first extra hour makes you slightly better. The second hour builds on the first. The 100th hour builds on all the previous 99. After a year of working 1 extra hour daily, you're not just 364 hours ahead of your competition, you're exponentially ahead because each hour made you more skilled, more knowledgeable, more capable than before. So this is why some people seem to have overnight success. They didn't succeed overnight. They succeeded over years of working every waking hour while everyone else was choosing entertainment over excellence. Your time is your life. How you spend your hours determines how you spend your years. How you spend your years determines your destiny. Most people treat time carelessly, like it's unlimited. They waste hours on activities that provide temporary pleasure but permanent mediocrity. But when you choose to work every waking hour, you're making a different choice. You're choosing to invest your most precious resource in your most important goals. You're choosing temporary sacrifice for permanent advantage. You're choosing the discomfort of discipline over the pain of regret. The cost of mediocrity is enormous, though most people never calculate it. When you choose to work only when it's convenient, only when you feel like it, only when conditions are perfect, you're not just losing the immediate opportunity, you're losing the compound effect of consistent effort over time. Every hour you spend watching television is an hour you could have spent learning a new skill. Every hour you spend scrolling social media is an hour you could have spent building your business. Every hour you spend complaining about your situation is an hour you could have spent changing your situation. The successful understand that time is the ultimate equalizer. Rich or poor, young or old, educated or not. Everyone gets the same 24 hours each day. The only question is, what will you do with yours? Most people will continue making excuses. They'll say they don't have time, they're too tired, they need to relax, they deserve a break. But you're different. You understand that working every waking hour isn't punishment, it's privilege. It's the price of admission to the life you really want. Now that you understand the mathematics of success, let's talk about the psychology. Because working every waking hour isn't just about time management, it's about completely rewiring how your brain thinks about work, effort, and achievement. Most people have been programmed since childhood to think of work as something negative. They see work as the opposite of fun. They live for weekends and vacations. They count down hours until quitting time. This programming creates what I call the resistance mindset. And it's the biggest obstacle between you and extraordinary success. High performers think completely differently. They don't see work as the price they pay to live. They see work as life itself. They understand that meaningful work is one of the deepest sources of human satisfaction. When you love what you do and you're committed to excellence, working every waking hour doesn't feel like sacrifice, it feels like privilege. But this mindset shift doesn't happen overnight. You have to consciously reprogram your thinking. Every time you catch yourself thinking, I have to work, change it to, I get to work. Every time you think, this is hard, change it to, this is making me stronger. Every time you think, I'm tired, change it to, I'm growing. The human brain is designed to seek comfort and avoid effort. This served our ancestors well when physical survival was the primary concern. But in today's world, this ancient programming works against us. Your brain will constantly try to talk you out of working extra hours. It will create excuses, justifications, and rational-sounding reasons why you should stop working and start relaxing. This is where mental toughness becomes essential. Mental toughness isn't about ignoring your feelings or pretending you don't get tired. Mental toughness is about working through resistance instead of giving into it. It's about doing what needs to be done, whether you feel like it or not. Here's a technique that will transform your ability to work long hours. Energy cycling. Your energy isn't constant throughout the day. It comes in waves. Instead of trying to maintain the same intensity for 18 hours straight, learn to work with your natural energy cycles. When your energy is high, tackle your most challenging tasks. When your energy dips, switch to easier activities like organizing, planning, or learning. When your energy is at its lowest, take a brief break, but make it an active break. Walk, stretch, do jumping jacks. Never collapse on the couch, or you'll lose your momentum entirely. The most successful people have learned to manage their energy like a renewable resource. They know that energy comes from engagement, not rest. The more you care about what you're doing, the more energy you'll have to do it. This is why passion is so important. When you're passionate about your goals, working toward them energizes you instead of draining you. But passion alone isn't enough. You need to build what I call success habits. Habits eliminate the need for willpower and decision making. When working long hours becomes habitual, it becomes automatic. You don't have to convince yourself to do it. You just do it because that's who you are. Start by committing to work 1 extra hour every day for 30 days. Don't think about it. Don't negotiate with yourself. Just do it. After 30 days, add another hour. Your capacity for work will expand gradually and naturally. The key is momentum. Success creates success. Achievement creates achievement. The more you accomplish by working extra hours, the more motivated you become to continue working extra hours. This creates an upward spiral that separates high performers from everyone else. Most people work in cycles. They get motivated, work hard for a few days or weeks, then burn out and return to mediocrity. High performers understand that consistency beats intensity. It's better to work an extra hour every single day than to work an extra 10 hours once a month. This brings us to resilience. Every high performer faces moments when they want to quit. The difference is that they've trained themselves to push through these moments instead of giving in to them. They understand that the urge to quit is temporary, but the results of pushing through are permanent. When you feel like quitting, remember why you started. Remember your goals, your dreams, your vision for your future. Remember that every successful person has felt exactly what you're feeling right now. The only difference is that they kept working when others stopped. Your mind is incredibly powerful, but it needs direction. Most people let their minds run wild with negative thoughts, doubts, and excuses. High performers take control of their mental state. They feed their minds with positive input, inspiring books, educational content, and success stories. What you put into your mind determines what comes out in your actions. If you fill your mind with entertainment and gossip, you'll produce mediocre results. If you fill your mind with knowledge and inspiration, you'll produce extraordinary results. The psychology of working every waking hour is simple. You become what you practice. Practice excellence, and you become excellent. Practice mediocrity, and you become mediocre. The choice is always yours. Working every waking hour doesn't mean working blindly. Smart people work strategically. They understand that all hours are not created equal. Some activities move you toward your goals at lightning speed. Others keep you busy, but get you nowhere. The difference between successful people and busy people is that successful people know the difference. This is where the 80/20 rule becomes your secret weapon. 20% of your activities produce 80% of your results. 20% of your clients generate 80% of your income. 20% of your skills create 80% of your value in the marketplace. Your job is to identify that critical 20% and spend most of your working hours focused there. Most people do this backwards. They spend 80% of their time on activities that produce 20% of their results. They answer emails all day but never work on their most important projects. They attend meetings that accomplish nothing but miss opportunities that could change their lives. They stay busy with trivial tasks while their competitors focus on activities that actually matter. Here's how to think strategically about your working hours. Every morning, before you do anything else, ask yourself this question: what are the 3 most important things I can accomplish today that will move me closer to my major goals? Write them down. Then work on those 3 things first, when your energy and focus are at their peak. Everything else can wait. Phone calls can wait, emails can wait, social media definitely can wait. The urgent things that seem important in the moment are usually just distractions from the truly important things that will change your future. Time blocking is another strategy that separates professionals from amateurs. Instead of letting your day happen to you, you plan exactly what you'll do and when you'll do it. You block specific hours for specific activities. From 8 to 10 a.m., you work on your most important project. From 10 to 11 a.m., you return phone calls. When you block your time, you eliminate decision fatigue. You don't waste mental energy deciding what to do next because you already decided the night before. You also eliminate the temptation to procrastinate because you've committed to working on specific tasks at specific times. But here's the key. You must treat your time blocks like appointments with the most important person in your life, your future self. You wouldn't skip a meeting with your biggest client, so don't skip your time blocks. Honor your commitments to yourself the same way you honor your commitments to others. Skill development is another area where strategic thinking pays enormous dividends. Instead of randomly learning whatever catches your interest, focus on developing skills that multiply your value in the marketplace. Learn skills that remain valuable for decades, not just months. Learn skills that can't be easily automated or outsourced. The most valuable skill you can develop is the ability to solve expensive problems for other people. The bigger the problems you can solve, the more money you can make, the more money you can make per hour, the more valuable your working hours become. This creates a positive cycle. As your skills improve, your hourly value increases. As your hourly value increases, you can accomplish more in less time. As you accomplish more in less time, you can either work the same hours and achieve more, or maintain the same achievement level while creating more time for additional opportunities. Strategic working also means saying no to good opportunities so you can say yes to great opportunities. Every hour you spend on something good is an hour you can't spend on something better. This requires discipline because good opportunities are easier to find than great opportunities. But great opportunities are what create extraordinary results. The goal isn't just to work more hours. The goal is to make every hour count. When you combine the quantity of working every waking hour with the quality of strategic focus, you create an unstoppable competitive advantage. You're not just working more than your competition, you're working smarter than your competition. This is how ordinary people create extraordinary results. They don't just outwork everyone else, they outthink everyone else while outworking everyone else. Let me tell you something that nobody else will tell you. Success requires sacrifice. Not someday, not eventually. Right now, today, this very moment. While others are choosing comfort, you must choose commitment. While others are choosing entertainment, you must choose excellence. While others are choosing the easy path, the question isn't whether you'll make sacrifices. You're already making sacrifices. Every choice you make is a sacrifice of something else you could have chosen. The question is, what are you sacrificing? And what are you getting in return? Most people sacrifice their future for their present. They choose immediate pleasure over long-term gain. They watch television instead of reading books. They socialize instead of studying. They sleep in instead of starting early. They're sacrificing their tomorrow for their today. But successful people do the opposite. They sacrifice their present for their future. They give up immediate gratification for long-term satisfaction. They understand that everything has a price, and they're willing to pay that price up front instead of paying it later with interest. Here's the truth about sacrifice. It's temporary, but the results are permanent. The discomfort you feel when you work late while your friends are out having fun will last a few hours, but the skills you develop, the progress you make, and the opportunities you create will benefit you for the rest of your life. Think of every working hour as a deposit in your success account. Most people make minimum deposits and expect maximum returns. They work just enough to get by and wonder why they never get ahead. But when you work every waking hour, you're making maximum deposits. And maximum deposits create maximum returns. The compound interest of effort is real. Every hour you invest in your goals doesn't just give you the value of that single hour. It builds on all the previous hours you've invested. Your first 100 hours of extra work might produce small results. But your second 100 hours will produce bigger results because you're building on the foundation of the first 100 hours. This is why consistency is more powerful than intensity. Working an extra hour every day for a year is more valuable than working an extra 20 hours once a month. Consistent deposits create compound interest. Sporadic deposits create sporadic results. But here's what most people don't understand about sacrifice. It's not really sacrifice if you're getting something better in return. It's investment. When you give up watching television to work on your business, you're not losing entertainment. You're gaining freedom. When you give up sleeping late to start early, you're not losing rest. You're gaining advantage. The key is to reframe sacrifice as investment. Instead of thinking about what you're giving up, focus on what you're getting. Instead of thinking about what you're missing, think about what you're gaining. Instead of thinking about the cost, think about the return. Most people calculate the cost of working hard, but they never calculate the cost of not working hard. They think about how tired they'll be if they work extra hours, but they don't think about how poor they'll be if they don't work extra hours. They consider the sacrifice of giving up leisure time, but they don't consider the sacrifice of giving up their dreams. The cost of mediocrity is enormous. When you choose average effort, you get average results. Average results lead to an average income. An average income leads to an average lifestyle. An average lifestyle leads to average opportunities for your family. Is that really what you want? Every successful person has a moment when they decide that the cost of staying where they are is greater than the cost of doing what it takes to get where they want to go. That moment changes everything. That moment transforms sacrifice from something painful into something purposeful. Your moment is right now. You can choose to continue making the same sacrifices that have given you the same results. Or you can choose to make different sacrifices that will give you different results. You can sacrifice your comfort for your growth. You can sacrifice your present convenience for your future freedom. The choice is yours, but the choice is also urgent. Every day you delay is a day you can't recover. Every hour you waste is an hour you can't reclaim. Your future self is counting on the decisions you make today. The moment of truth has arrived. You understand the mathematics, you know the psychology, you've learned the strategy, you've accepted the investment mentality. Now comes the most important question. What will you do with this knowledge? Knowledge without action is worthless. Understanding without implementation is meaningless. You can have all the information in the world, but if you don't act on it, nothing changes. Your life stays the same. Your results stay the same. Your future stays the same. Let me tell you about Sarah, a marketing manager who attended one of my seminars 3 years ago. She was frustrated, working 40 hours a week, but watching her colleagues get promoted while she stayed stuck. After the seminar, she made a decision that changed everything. Starting the very next Monday, Sarah began working 2 extra hours every day. Not occasionally, not when she felt like it, every single day. She arrived at the office at 7 a.m. instead of 9 a.m. While her colleagues were drinking coffee and chatting, Sarah was already deep into her most important projects during those first 2 hours. When the office was quiet and her mind was fresh, Sarah accomplished more than most people accomplish in an entire day. She used this time to learn new marketing strategies, analyze successful campaigns, and develop innovative approaches that her competitors never considered. Within 6 months, Sarah's results were impossible to ignore. Her campaigns were generating higher returns than anyone else in the company. Her ideas were being implemented across multiple departments. Her reputation as a high performer spread throughout the organization. But Sarah didn't stop there. She used her lunch breaks to study industry trends instead of scrolling through social media. She spent evenings learning new software and skills instead of watching television. She turned her commute into a mobile university by listening to educational podcasts and audiobooks. After 18 months of working every waking hour, Sarah was promoted to marketing director. After 3 years, she became vice president of marketing. Today, she earns more money than her former boss and has the freedom to work on projects she's passionate about. But here's the most important part of Sarah's story. She didn't become successful despite working every waking hour. She became successful because she worked every waking hour. The extra hours weren't the price she paid for success. The extra hours were the investment that created her success. Sarah's transformation didn't happen by accident. It happened because she followed a specific implementation system that you can use starting today. First, she designed her ideal day. She wrote down exactly what she wanted to accomplish and when she wanted to accomplish it. She planned her days like an architect plans a building, with precision, purpose, and attention to detail. Second, she eliminated time wasters ruthlessly. She stopped watching television on weeknights. She limited social media to 10 minutes per day. She said no to activities that didn't align with her goals. She protected her time like she protected her money. Third, she created accountability systems. She told her mentor about her commitment to work extra hours. She tracked her progress daily. She measured her results weekly. She couldn't let herself down because she had committed publicly to her new standards. Fourth, she prepared for obstacles. She knew there would be days when she didn't feel like working extra hours. She knew there would be people who criticized her dedication. She knew there would be moments when she questioned whether the sacrifice was worth it. But she prepared responses for each of these challenges in advance. Most importantly, Sarah never looked back. She never compared her new life to her old life and wondered if she was missing anything. She focused on what she was gaining, not on what she was giving up. She celebrated her progress instead of mourning her sacrifices. This is how you implement the principle of working every waking hour. Not someday, not next week, not when conditions are perfect. Today, right now, this moment. Start by adding just 1 extra hour to your workday. Wake up 1 hour earlier or stay 1 hour later. Use that hour for your most important goal. Don't think about it. Don't negotiate with yourself. Just do it. After 30 days, add another hour. After 60 days, add another hour. Your capacity will expand gradually and naturally. What seems impossible today will become automatic tomorrow. Remember, you're not just changing your schedule, you're changing your identity. You're becoming the type of person who works every waking hour. You're joining the ranks of high achievers who understand that extraordinary results require extraordinary effort. Your competitors are comfortable. They're working just enough to get by. They're saving their energy for activities that provide temporary pleasure but permanent mediocrity. This gives you an incredible advantage. While they're resting, you're growing. While they're playing, you're progressing. While they're complaining, you're conquering. 10 years from now, you'll look back on this moment as the turning point in your life. You'll remember the day you stopped making excuses and started making progress. You'll remember the day you stopped choosing comfort and started choosing commitment. You'll remember the day you decided to work every waking hour. Your future is not determined by your circumstances. Your future is determined by your choices. And right now, in this moment, you have the power to choose differently. The time for preparation is over. The time for action has begun. Your extraordinary life is waiting for you. But it's not going to come to you. You have to go to it. You have to work for it. You have to earn it. The question isn't whether you can do it. The question is whether you will do it. Your answer to that question will determine everything that happens next in your life. Choose wisely. Choose boldly. Choose to work every waking hour. Your future self will thank you.